Well, hello. I'd like to welcome you to another exciting episode of Pens in Use. This is the show where I talk about the fountain pens and inks that I've been using throughout the week. So, let's dive into it. If videos like this interest you, where I talk about fountain pens both new and old and at all price points, I would invite you to subscribe. And I don't really have a topic for you tonight, but I will say that filming outside with this camera is kind of a pain, because this is my microphone and it's also my remote control, and I got to pick one of the other functions, so I don't even know if I'm in focus right now. So this could all be a waste of time. So let's dive into the pens before I start thinking about it and get mad. Alright, so these are the pens that I've been using throughout the week, and just want to say that this is the first part of Pens in Use that I shot, and holy cow, was it a bugger getting this microphone working. But it is working, so let's go with it. So, from left to right, we have two Parker Streamline Juniors. Yeah, and I will admit that it wasn't until I set them side by side to shoot this video that I said, holy cow, I've got two of them. Did not realize that. So this Jade one is a earlier restoration that didn't happen to make it into video. I have a Romus Silver and Black, Aurora Style, Parker Frontier, an Inco from Poland, a Platinum 3776, a vintage Aurora 88, and a Sheaffer Balance 350. Alright, so I just discovered I screwed up the exposure on that, but we'll just keep going. So this is my first pen. This is a Parker Streamline Junior. I finished restoring this pen this week and issued a video where I did basically a dissection that took place over several weeks, but yeah, I'm pretty thrilled with it. It is a beautiful, but doesn't show up real well in this lighting, finish. And it writes well. So it has a kind of oblique nib. So we have a Parker Streamline Junior. Actually, I should say it's a Duofold. The ink in it is Parker Quink. Washable blue. And before I do the swatch, I should just point out that this pen has what looks to me like an oblique nib. So they're designed to be held at kind of an angle like I'm doing right now. So we'll do a vertical fill in the blank, horizontal fill in the blank, and then the oblique and stub tests. And you can see that the stub part looks basically the same, and the oblique part, yeah, there's a difference. So, kind of a fun nib. Now, what I didn't realize until this week, although I don't think they're the same year, and one's Canadian. Actually, is the other one Canadian? Let me get it under some good light from my eye. Oh, missing a light. Okay, the only real difference between these, other than the finish, is the green one is made in the USA. The Burgundy one, sorry, is made in Canada. The other difference, nib on the green one, which is Jade finish, is not oblique. Oh, did you see that? It's a little flexible. So we have a Parker Duofold, Streamline Junior again, And this time the ink is Parker Quink. Green. And Parker had a very nice green back then. And Parker would love to see one or two of these fun colors come back. Just saying. And right here we're looking at one of the ones I want to see come back. And you can see right away, you know, here on the oblique test, the lines are the same. And on the stub test, there is some difference in the lines, but that's mainly due to the flexy nature of the nib on this pen. My next pen, Rotax, silver and black. Has a fun bit of line variation. It's not flexy like this Parker, but definitely interesting. The ink in it is Parker Quink. What else? Washable blue. And we'll do a quick swatch here. Verticals. Takes a little longer than the previous two pens to fill in because it's such a fine writer. Same thing with the horizontals. And the diagonals. So the main thing going for it is just that it has that tiny bit of flex, which makes it kind of fun. With a bit of a 1960s look, we've got the Aurora style. And I remember Matt Armstrong didn't like this pen, but I like it. Oops. Aurora. The ink in this pen right now is Iroshizuku. Murasaki-shikibu. Which is a really nice purple. And it's an ink that it's in a small bottle, so I'm hoping to use it up before summer ends. I just want to reduce the number of inks in my collection. So maybe not one of Aurora's more famous pens, but I don't know, there's just something about how it looks that I just really appreciate. So I was inspired, it's not going to happen in this video, but I was inspired by this pen to think, wait, that looks a lot like a Parker Sonnet. So I'm going to film a video now that I have a microphone. See how this pen compares to the Parker Sonnets. This is actually a Parker Frontier. And definitely begs the question, is the Sonnet comparable? Oh, no, that wasn't a medium, that was a fine. The ink in this one is platinum. Carbon black. So this is a pen that I use to address envelopes right now. Also happens to be probably my first foray into the Parker world outside of the Parker Vector. Not this particular one, but one that I bought probably 20 or more years ago. Oops, forgot to do the diagonal swatch, sorry. That was a horrible swatch. this pen is a vintage Polish pen, and honestly, it's not that great of a pen. It's lost its trim ring here. We've got a little bit of design here. And yeah, not one of my premier pens, but whatever. So this is an Inco. Like I said, it's Polish. The ink in it is Birmingham pens. Yeah, you can tell this is one of my favorite inks. So it's supposed to be called Twilight, which is what it says in the bottle, but really its full name is Allegheny River. Twilight. So this company is based in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where the Allegheny River joins up with a total of 3 rivers. Where the Allegheny River is in my hometown is much more humble than its Pittsburgh version. And I won't say that this color brings back any memories, but that name is so evocative. So yeah, the Allegheny River means a lot to me. My town may have a more humble version of the Allegheny River, but doggone it, I used to work in a place that was right on the shore of the Allegheny River, so spent 7 years working there in high school and college, so yeah, it means something to me. My next pen, which should be in a video next week, I think. Kind of lost track of my schedule here because I'm off it. But this is a Platinum 3776 with a sharp blue finish and music nib. Because next week I plan to do a video where I'm going to compare several music nibs. And then hopefully I'm going to sell one of them. So the ink in it is Iroshizuku. Hey, another ink I'm trying to use up. Ama-iro, which is a nice sky blue kind of colored ink. And of course, a music nib, I guess the big thing with them is they're kind of like stub nibs, only they have a tip. And a lot of them actually have a double slit in the nib. You know, the idea is you hold them more upright and you can make music notes. Like that, I guess. I don't write music, so yeah. Alright, my second to last pen is this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful vintage Nick Argenta Aurora 88. I have 2 of these. The other one has some faded ebonite. This one, it's not faded. But this one, the other one is more flexible. This one is more of just a fine point. Oop, see. Not a flex pen, or wouldn't have done that. So this is an Aurora 88 vintage. The ink in this one is Aurora Black. How does this black differ from the others? A couple of years ago I did a video on different black inks, and this was one of them. This was the one that I was hoping would win out, but it didn't, because it wasn't so good on the lower quality paper. But I guess the big advantage of this one is it's it's a really black. And finally, I have my Sheaffer Legacy. No, 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 no. Wait, what was that noise? Huh. That was happening last week, too. Well, anyway, I have my Sheaffer Balance 350, which has a very beautiful, beautiful finish. Yeah, I want to say it's the carmine finish. Carmine. Okay, carmine. We'll just go carmine. I don't know if it's carmine or carmine, but anyway, this pen was owned by, Carmen Jordan. Okay, yeah, there's definitely a noise there. I don't know what that is. That is weird. Anywho, Sheaffer Balance. I do like my Sheaffer Legacy. Somebody told me in the comments that this was actually the price at the time, which, we're talking the Great Depression. I've actually been researching this Carmen Jordan a little bit, and it's possible she may have been given this pen back during the Depression. But anyway, Sheaffer Balance. The ink in this is Callifolio. And this time, instead of it being a brand name, it's a color name. Aurora. Now, it makes me think of the Aurora Borealis, where you now know that I once lived in a town called West Hope. That was far enough north that I would see the Aurora Borealis in the winter. Sometimes it was greenish flashes in the sky, sometimes it was reddish flashes. I don't remember a really majestic display like you see photographs of, but you could see it happening. So I'm guessing this Aurora is something totally different and totally unrelated. Don't know. So hopefully that worked out. Like I said, filming outside with this camera is more of a pain, so might need some kind of a other source of audio when I film outdoors. We'll see. But anyway, because this is my remote control, and I had to pick and choose what it's going to be. But anyway, also got to use my new microphone tonight, so that was exciting. Same model as the old one, but it seems to be more sensitive. I got to work with it a little, figure out, where to set the gain and all the different settings. But, at least it's a model I'm familiar with, so I just got to get used to it. The last one lasted, 5 or 6 years, so hopefully I can get another 5 or 6 years out of this new one. Dropped it. One of the topics I wrote down for tonight, I've got a video link down below, James Earl Jones reading Frederick Douglass's views on the 4th of July. Now, I know 4th of July is past, and I spent my 4th of July weekend filming a video where I just traveled around North Dakota. But I thought it was interesting reading Frederick Douglass and hearing, because, oh my God, James Earl Jones has an amazing voice. But just hearing Frederick Douglass's thoughts on 4th of July, and yeah, Frederick Douglass definitely has a different interpretation of 4th of July than somebody who looks like me would. And, I knew the history. I guess I just never made it so personal before. And, that's a slight on my part. But good for James Earl Jones putting it out there, giving it a little wider publicity. That definitely well worth a listen, or even just reading the text, because originally it was a written article. Another thing that came up this week, we've got new guidelines from the CDC going into school, which, hey, next month I'll be starting school. And not so helpful. Apparently, since I'm vaccinated, I don't need a mask, but there is so much gray and there's so much unknown. And yeah, you got to protect the kids who aren't vaccinated. And oh yeah, the kids who are vaccinated might get it. But oh wait, we can't tell you who's vaccinated and who's not. And yeah, it's just a big mess. And what do you do with that? You know, I'm hoping that the school will have some kind of guidance. I know that some schools are saying, okay, everybody's going to wear a mask. Other schools are saying, oh, if you're not vaccinated, don't wear a mask. Or I'm sorry, if you're vaccinated, don't wear one. If you're not, do. But no real clear guidance. So, yeah, I'm just really unclear. And again, what do you do with that? So, don't really have anything deeper to say. It's just kind of where I'm at right now. What I wanted to do was go back as much to normal as possible. You know, definitely everybody will be in person. I really pity those schools who have had over a year not in person. It is going to be brutal for you coming back to in person. Just having a few months not in person was pretty brutal for us. So I just can't even imagine what it's going to be like for the rest of you. But yeah, we've got all these worries about, well, we've got politicians actually and news figures taking stances against vaccination. We've got people saying that people going around saying, hey, you should get vaccinated are equivalent to Nazi brown shirts. I mean, hello. That's definitely hyperbole. But we also have a population that's reacting to that, and certain segment of our population that will refuse to get vaccinated for purely political reasons, and we're just in a difficult spot. So thank you, politicians, for using a pandemic to further your little political cause. Sarcasm. So, on that unhappy note, I feel like I should throw in something happy. So, China is now saying that pandas are no longer endangered, and pandas are just cute. They're not bears, even though people call them panda bears. Genetics, thank you for ruining that for me, but still, yay science. But yeah, pandas are no longer endangered, so that's good news, especially in a country like China that has such a large population and, is constantly building. So, yeah, I'm happy about that. And then I just thought I would mention, I'm in a county right now that's right around 40% vaccinated. Okay, there's a bug here. And, yeah, I couldn't stay happy for too long. I've been reading in the news about places like Missouri, Mississippi, places where they have less than a third of their people vaccinated. Heck, that would be the county to my north, which a lot of their kids come to school down here. And in some of these areas, COVID is going nuts. And again, what do? People come to the hospital with COVID, and some of them are like, nope, it's not COVID. And some of them are like, oh, if I just would have known, I would have gotten the vaccine. Well, sorry, too late now. We tried. Heck, we're even thinking about going door to door to suggest it. But apparently that's Nazi brown shirt stuff. So, yeah, this bug is annoying. Where do you go with that? Why does a pandemic become a political thing? And I just don't have a good answer for it. But I will say, I'm out here, beautiful evening. I have a wind chime. Made out of bamboo, so it's cool. 'Cause I just don't like the metal dingy ones. I like the bamboo sound though. And I've got a mourning dove who, depending on how you spell mourning, if you spell it M-O-U-R-N-I-N-G, then it's fine. Go ahead and mourn. But if you spell it M-O-R-N-I-N-G, then it's not mourning anymore. But anyway, just a beautiful evening. I am sadly going to spend part of it editing video, but I have a laptop, so why can't I edit my videos sitting out here letting the bug bother me? Because why not? And I've got a garden that is growing beautifully. I've cleaned a lot of weeds out of it. And I'm about to, probably tomorrow, I'm going to start picking kohlrabi. And yeah, just great. And we had some rain the last couple of days. I'm actually going to have to mow my lawn because it is no longer, I mean, it's still kind of brown, but it's no longer as brown and definitely needs the tops cut off of everything. So things are looking up in a lot of ways. You just got to, I can't help what other people do. The only person whose behavior I can control is my own. So I'm going to control my own behavior and not worry about what everybody else is doing because I can't control it. So anyway, I want to thank you for watching. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.